Are you moving to impeach Attorney General Merrick Garland?
This is a question for the full conference. Speaker McCarthy said, if we have to go to an impeachment inquiry, we will, in fact, do that. It sure looks now, based on all this evidence that keeps piling up, based on what Senator Grassley released this week with the 1023 form, what we heard from the whistleblowers this past week, and the conflicting statements from the Justice Department, it sure looks like we're moving in that direction at a pretty quick pace.
So that was House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan on with Maria on Sunday Morning Futures. The New York Post Miranda Devine is reporting that Hunter Biden's former business partner, this is Devon Archer, is expected to testify that Hunter put then Vice President Joe Biden on the phone with his business associates at least 24 times. Archer reportedly speaking to the House Oversight Committee this week, though he's canceled on them 3 times. I want to bring in New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. She's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Congresswoman, that's the big question. Are we going to hear from Devon Archer this week?
Well, that's what we're supposed to hear from, but I think Miranda Devine put out enough evidence right now. When you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, it's in plain sight. Everything that Joe Biden did is not just bribery. This is money laundering. He used Hunter to be able to be set up in these on the Burisma board for $83,000 a month without any skill set to do it, purely because Joe Biden was vice president, so he could influence peddle. And then that money would be transferred to all these complex entities that James Comer discovered using the suspicious activity reports, and then link that to all the testimony coming from the IRS that was suppressed by the FBI and the DOJ. So you have a situation where you have President Biden actually committing the crime of money laundering and bribery with his son, and then using the FBI and the DOJ now as president to cover up the crime. So he's got the whole thing figured out. And yet, where are we today? I agree with Jim Jordan. It's time for impeachment, not just of Merrick Garland to move all the way up the ranks, but Merrick Garland should be job one for the Congress as soon as we get. I mean, all the facts are out there in plain sight. Look, they're trying to create charges against President Trump that aren't felonies. We have felonies in plain sight that the DOJ and Merrick Garland is not doing anything about.
Yeah, the allegation is of special treatment. I would ask you about this. One of your colleagues on the Democrat side, this is House Oversight Ranking Member Jamie Raskin. He still says there's unverified claims in this newly released FBI document, which alleges that Joe and Hunter Biden coerced a Burisma executive into paying them $5 million. This is that form that we've talked so much about. He claims that that these were already investigated by the Trump DOJ. And that Bill Barr, remember, he's debunked all of that. Like a month ago, Bill Barr came on and said, no, we passed it along. We did keep our investigation going. Your reaction?
Look, we have special counsels all over the place looking at this. And now the whole concern is, do we appoint another special counsel just to slow it down and not get to the point of what's happening? I think the American people can see this. We have put together, whether it's through the Judiciary Committee under Jim Jordan or whether the Oversight Committee under James Comer, and now with this, explosive whistleblower testimony coming out from Jason Smith, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, with oversight on the IRS. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. It's all there. We have what we need, and obviously, Mr. Raskin is just, what are you going to do when you're a defense attorney? You conflate, you defend, you deflect because you know that you have no case. And it's going to come time for the Democrats to actually say, this is worse than Watergate. I mean, as I've said on numerous occasions, Richard Nixon didn't commit a crime. The people with him did. He covered it up. Joe Biden and his family are committing crimes, and he's covering it up. We've never had this happen in American history, where the DOJ and the FBI is so dirty, and Merrick Garland is such a dirty cop, that they're actually protecting crime. I mean, their job is to uncover crime. Our job is to do oversight on the executive branch, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, you've got this new Fox News op-ed. It's the title, The Critical Court Deadline, that will determine Hunter Biden's fate. You write that on July 26th, the federal judge is going to have to decide whether to accept the politically charged sweetheart plea deal hastily cooked up by A.G. Garland or apply the unbiased facts to the law and postpone the matter. The sweetheart tax deal that Hunter Biden got. And the gun charges, which were barely.
We got 2 days.
There.
And we've been, I thank you, Shaw. I mean, I did this op-ed because, look, I'm an attorney. I can't talk to the judge. I could do an amicus brief as a member of Congress. But we want people, the American people, to know They're trying to make this all go away. They're trying to make it all go away with a a sweetheart deal on a gun charge that anybody else would be in jail for. I mean, look, Trump Jr. would be in jail forever if he committed the same kind of crimes that Hunter Biden has committed. Donald Trump would be behind bars if he actually committed the crimes that Joe Biden has committed. So what I'm saying to this judge is even the Democrats on the Committee on Ways and Means admitted when we released the whistleblower testimony, we need to do more of an investigation. So why are we rushing through? Why is Merrick Garland, our Attorney General, rushing through a sweetheart plea deal? They want this to go away, and it should not.
Right.
We have to have equal justice under the law in this country.
Congresswoman, before you go, I just have a little bit of time with you, but we got to focus here on New York. Governor Hochul announced $29 million for EV charging. She's also launching a taxpayer-funded health care program for sex workers. There was a lot of concern that what is going to happen is that you've got all of these women out there, a lot of them these migrant women that cannot legally work, that are going to be absorbed into the illegal sex trade that happens across the nation, but it happens here, and that by offering health care to these workers that you're going to actually create more of an industry, which is still to this day illegal. Governor Hochul seems to be going down the wrong path. What is going on here?
Look, I agree. First of all, with EV charging stations, there are only 150,000 people out of nearly 20 million in New York who actually have electric vehicles, and they typically are the elite and the wealthy, not the people in tough neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods. And on the sex worker problem, this is a fact that never comes out when the Democrats talk about their late-term abortion in New York, which is legal under the new Dobbs standard. I think people need to emphasize we did not ban abortion in New York. We have late-term abortion. On average, according to statistics that I last had that are a couple of years old, so they need to be updated, I'll acknowledge that. On average, 5,000 women every single year have at least 5 abortions. It's not like it's an occasional thing. So she's incentivizing the abortion industry and its money into the hands of the abortion industry, not to protect women's health care, not to protect women from getting engaged and used for this type of sex trafficking, which many women are abused in this situation. So it's really the wrong message to send when it comes to protecting women who unfortunately may fall into this line of work.
The re-victimization of these women is what this has been characterized at. Yeah.
Look, we have sex trafficking, human trafficking of children. So a young girl, a 13-year-old girl could be forced into this situation, and she's incentivizing pimps and people that take advantage of them to do that.
It's awful. It's awful. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. A lot of ground covered with you. Thank you for your time.